Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to Everything RV with Dave. I noticed a leak in my system when I had my trailer out the last trip. And every 2 or 3 hours the pump would come on. Now I was not hooked up to city water. I was running my pump with my fresh water supply. So I knew that there was something leaking. It ended up being my toilet valve, and it was leaking ever so slightly. But I have a chance right now. Let's go ahead and change it. I will show you how to do it. It is so much easier for me to remove that toilet, bring it outside, go ahead and replace the valve, because of the cramped quarters and kind of standing on my head in the bathroom. That's not for me. I'll just take the toilet out. So let's go in and let's get this toilet out here and let's replace this valve. So here we are in my bathroom, and as you can see, there's not a lot of room. I've got 2 nuts, one on each side of the toilet, which holds the toilet down. They're 7/16. I need to remove those. And in behind the toilet, there is a compression nut holding the freshwater supply. So I need to take it off. And that's all I really need to do to remove this toilet. I go ahead and empty the bowl. Now I have turned the water pump off. I'm releasing all the pressure, letting as much of the liquid come out, the water, as possible. And that's that. Now, when I disconnect the water line, there's going to be a little bit of water that's going to leak out. So I'm going to get some rags, and I'm going to go ahead and get this toilet out of here and get it outside so we can replace the valve. Okay, I brought my toilet outside. I've got it in my garage right now because it was starting to rain. But that's not going to stop us from going ahead and taking this valve off. First thing I need is a 1/4-inch nut driver. I need to put the camera down for just a second while I take that screw out. Okay, now right here on the top there are 2 knobs, and they hold this valve in, and they need to be compressed down. And when you push them down, I push it out. Now I need to get the bottom one, and I might need to put the camera down, but as you can see, I've got the top one pushed out, and it just won't come out until I get the bottom one out. So let me put the camera down and compress the other side and pop this thing out of there. There we go. And as you can see, it has clips on both sides. So once I push the top down, I needed to get underneath and push the other one. So that's the old valve that's out. Now I went ahead and clipped off the PEX connector. And all I use is a pair of snips. And I just snipped it right off. Makes it a lot easier. Now they supply a clamp, but it's a 5/8 inch clamp, and you're pulling everything from one side, and I don't want this thing to leak. So I made my own little contraption here. You don't need to do this, you can use their clamp. I used 2 1/2-inch clamps, hooked them together so that when I'm tightening, I can be tightening from both sides. I don't want this thing to leak. If it starts leaking, I'll have to go ahead and get a 5/8 inch PEX connector and go ahead and put it on, but I don't have a 5/8 right now, so I'm going to use this. Okay, as you can see, I've got my clamp on there, and I've tightened it up from both sides, so I feel like it's not going to leak. And now all you have to do is take this, and if you take a look, there's only one way it can go in there. Just put it in, slide it in until it clips. It'll snap right in place. And then put the screw back in. Well, and again, I'll have to put the camera down, but I'm going to put the screw back in right now. Just remember when you're doing this, we're dealing with plastic against plastic with a screw. You need to make it tight, but you don't need to over tighten it. You don't need to crack or break anything. So there's the new valve installed. Let's go put it back inside couple things I want to tell you about when you put those 7/16 nuts back on. Again, you're bolting it down, plastic to the flange, and you don't want to over tighten. You want to make sure that you're tight enough that your toilet won't wobble, but you do not have to over tighten. You can always tighten a little bit more if it loosens up, but you know, if you tighten those bolts down too much, you will crack that plastic. Compression nut is, I put it on finger tight. Once I got it too tight, I put a pair of pliers on it and I gave it a 1/2 to 3/4 of a turn and tightened it up. Again, you can always retighten, but you surely don't want to break anything. It's plastic to plastic. I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you did, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and if your Dometic 300, 310, 320 toilet starts leaking, now you know how to change the valve. I will see you on the next video.